What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Nichols YouTube channel. Now, before we get into Andrew's interview, this is the deck list that he used to get first at Indiana State. And as you see, it is a Virizion Genesect Raichu deck. And of course, Raichu has attack Circle Circuit, which the attack does 20 damage times the number of your bench Pokemon. So if you have 5, you do 100, which that way one shots an Evital, and then you can have Muscle Band Math, stuff like that. But as you see, Andrew's deck is really techy. He plays one Colors Machine, plays one Starling Megaphone, which of course discards all Pokemon tool cards attached to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Sorry about that. He plays a Tool Retriever, and this way you pick up your tools any way you want to. He does play one Frigate, and I ask about that. Like I ask, why does he play that card? But hopefully you enjoy the interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Nichols YouTube channel. Today we're doing another States question answer video. And what's your name?
Andrew Estrada.
And where are you from?
I'm from Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
Toronto.
All right. And what states are we talking about?
I'm talking about Indiana States here.
All right, all right. So, how'd you end up doing a Swiss?
I ended up going 6-0-1, so I won my first 6 rounds, and I ID'd my last to get into cut.
Okay, and what were the decks that you played against?
They were pretty good matchups overall. First round, I faced against Kyogre. It was a Kyogre Toad variant, so it went pretty well. Um, Second round of the day was probably the most difficult, or one of the most difficult. I actually ended up facing Tool Drop, but he played 4 Crushing Hammers, 3 Head Ringers, and an Electrode, so it was really frustrating because whenever I went first and attached my energies, he instantly Crushing Hammered them all away. So it was definitely a really tough matchup, but somehow I pulled through. My Raichu definitely saved me in that matchup.
Okay.
Round 3, I faced Toadpuff. That went pretty well, too. Round 4, I faced Donphan. That was okay. Round 5, Andrew Mahone with his Virizion Mewtwo Dedenne Toad deck. That was a bit interesting. I was a bit worried at first because of how fast the Mewtwo's apply the pressure. But after a while, I realized that I actually can just chain G-boosters, and it actually wasn't that bad at all. And round 6, I faced... What did I face round 6? Oh yeah, Evital, Chris Droscher.
Okay.
Evital Jinx Toad. That went pretty well. I 2-0'd that. And last round, I ID'd Donphan. So yeah, 6-0-1. There we go.
All right. So, going in top 8, are you nervous or excited?
I'm pretty nervous and excited at the same time. I hadn't been doing so well previously throughout the year. I've been kind of fooling around, and I've been busy with school and etc. But I was pretty excited going into top cut. I knew I had a good matchup in top 8. I was facing straight Evital Toad Jinx, so that was pretty favorable because I had the Raichus and I couldn't be lasered, etc.
Okay. So, what ended up happening in top 8?
I actually had a no-show. So yeah, I don't know if you've heard the story, but Sean Passmore, he went drinking with his friends the previous night, Team Hovercats, and he went to Taco Bell at around 2 in the morning, and no one ever saw him again for the rest of the night until about 10 a.m. the following morning. I think what happened was that he passed out and he went to his car because like he knew he had a bad matchup in top 8, and he was just having fun with his friends because he made cut and everything, and stuff happened, and yeah, he just didn't show up, and yeah,
There you go. Yeah. All right.
that's actually what happened. Yeah,
Okay. So, going to top 4, did your opponent show up in this round?
yes, he did. It was against Andrew Colbert. I ID'd him round 7, so it was nice to finally play against him. I feel like I always play against him every tournament I go to. I don't know why. I feel like I always play against him at least once. Game 1, he steamrolled me pretty hard. Like, it was pretty bad. I think I whiffed the Plasma Energy one turn, and that really set me back. Game 2, I took a bit of control. I'm not really too sure on how thick his Donphan line was. For a while, I was starting to think that it was actually a 3-3 line, because he did play several Haluchas, but I never saw a 4th Phanpy, ever, all 3 games. So
Did he play like a 1/1 Groudon, or was it just like straight Donphan Hawlucha?
it was straight Donphan Halucha, but he played two Sigilith. He played a trump card, and he played a lot of energies,
Okay.
So I didn't really see too much besides just a standard Donphan list with with the exception of the Sigilliths, which people tend to favor the Groudon in the quad Robo Sub version more. But he did play Robo Subs as well.
Okay.
So I won game 2, and game 3 he took a lead at first, but I came back with a few consistent plasma energies on his Donphans. He fell behind, and there was one point where he just had 2 Sigillus on his field. That was it. I had 2 prizes left, and I had a Raichu on my field, so I swapped with the Raichu for game.
Okay.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my top 4.
All right. So going to the finals, you're nervous because you said you haven't done well this whole season. So.
I'm facing Kyogre in the finals.
Okay, so you're excited.
Yeah, he was pretty down at that point. I'm not gonna lie, I would be too, but it went pretty well for me. Actually, game 1 I started really bad. I think I got turn 4 Emerald Slash, and he had a really strong position, and I actually almost lost. I only came back because I was able to pull off a really good energy switch play, I'm pretty sure. The video is actually on YouTube, so anyone can watch that.
Okay.
So is my top 4 matchup, but game 1 was like that, and game 2, I kind of just steamrolled him there. He didn't have much. The only prize he took was off my Pikachu when I had to kill a Suicune, and I just G-boosted him back, and that was game.
All right. Well, congratulations on winning, sir. That's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So you do play the one on Raichu. Was that just for Evoltal, or was there other reasons behind it?
Well, the logistics behind my deck is that I like to have the consistency of having the ability to play at least one of every single card. I like to feel safe with the idea that I have an out to every single possible situation. So in order to fit all that in, I only had room for a 1/1 Raichu line because I thought, okay, it's good against Evoltal. It only gives up 1 prize, and it's just a really good attacker in general. Like, it swings for 120 with a band and a full bench. Like, it's not bad at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I just decided to include the Raichu. I was debating between a Drifloon at first, but I felt the enhanced hammers and the special energies weren't really worth discarding as much, as the only decks that really played special energies at the time were really like Night March and Flareon. Those were auto losses anyways.
Yeah.
And maybe Evoltal, but I opted that the Raichu was probably a better call for that.
Okay. Now, you do play the one Plasma Frigate. Is that just to counter other, like, Silent Labs, or is that more to try to beat Flareon?
It was actually it was to counter Silent Lab. Trust me, I had no intention of beating Flareon at all. I did beat it the night before in testing. Surprisingly, I don't know how, but well, online I started seeing a lot of lists. They were all playing one Silent Lab in their Donphans.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured that what I could do is I could just hold on to it as long as I possibly could until they finally drop their lab. And then once they drop their lab, then I can replace it with the frigate, and I can start red signaling around their field and putting myself back into it.
Okay.
And
So-
what I like about it too is that I can shadow tried it back.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good out too. But yeah.
Okay. So, you did play the one Tool Retriever. Did you ever want it to be like a Xerosic? I mean, because you played the Megaphone too. I don't know if you could, like, cut both of those for a Xerosic just in case.
The tool retriever, 100% no, I would play it as the tool retriever. I definitely love it as the tool retriever. There was a lot of situations where, for example, against Tool Drop, for example, against Chris DeRocher played a few ringers too. And against Andrew Mahone, I had to tool retriever my own G booster off my injured Genesect and put it onto a fresh Genesect and continue G boostering.
Mm-hmm.
So, and against Chris DeRocher, he dropped a double head ringer, turn 1 on my double Virizion. And I proceeded to just Skyla for a tool retriever, attach an energy and band, and that put me back into the game.
Okay.
The Megaphone was really, really clutch. I don't know if you watch my top 4 in finals games, they were really, really good. There was a lot of crucial moments where I threw them over by discarding their Spiritlings or their tools, so they couldn't 2-shot me and they had to 3-shot me. It was really good against Tool Drop, actually. That's how I won my games. It was clutch. I'm sorry I keep talking about Tool Drop, but it was they were good games.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah, it was definitely cool. It was interesting, but yeah, the Megaphone was really, really good. I really like it for the mirror matchup as well, as you have the opportunity to Megaphone their G booster so they don't sweep your field, especially if they take the early lead of going first.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Now, you do play the one Coalish Machine. Was there ever like a clutch moment that you like attach a grass, energy switch Coalish Machine, or was it kind of like a dead card?
It wasn't a dead card, I would say, but it definitely did help me against the Toad and Kyogre matchups. as there were often times where against the Toad Flare round 3, what he did, he played a heavy flare grunt count, and a heavy crushing hammer count. So what I did was I sat behind a Genesect and charged up my Virizion so I could actually finally Emerald Slash,
Mm.
and I was able to bring up a Genesect and Chorus Machine to it, and then Shadow Tried and Chorus Machine again. So I had 2 Plasma Energies on my Genesect, and I was attaching to my bench Virizion so he wouldn't Flare Grunt my bench Virizion. All he could do was Crushing Hammer it, and the moment he flipped one tails, I basically could Emerald Slash, and that put me back into the game. It was just really good in general, like against Evil Tall, against Andrew Mahone. There was just so many crucial moments where I had that opportunity to attach that extra energy and use less energies late game to G Booster, especially chain them. So
Okay.
it was definitely really good. I would definitely not cut it.
Alright. Well, after playing this tournament, would you make any changes to your deck, or you think the list is pretty solid?
Uh, I think the list is pretty solid. As I said, I like having the ability to have an out to everything, and I feel
Mhm.
like the deck does. The only thing I lose to Flareon and Night March, but those should already be obvious.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like the ability to have those outs. So no, I don't think I would change the list at all. I
Okay.
use the exact same list at Ontario Provincials.
How'd you end up doing there?
Um, I was 4-1 at one point, and then I played against my friend Malik. Game 3, I'm going first. I Skylight turn 1. I grab my muscle band, and I see a letter there, and I only have 1 energy in my hand, so I attach it. I attach my band. But next turn, I Skyla again, and I'm searching my deck about 4 times, and I don't see the letter in my deck. I'm thinking to myself, oh, I must be really tired. It must have been last game that the letter was prized, because the letter was prized game 2, but I didn't need it at the time.
Mhm.
So I convinced myself after a while that the letter was prized and that I didn't see it game 3. So I actually ended up having to pass. So I had to Skyla for I think, energy switch to conserve my energy and move it somewhere else, so my Virizion would stay alive,
Mhm.
and I had to pass. So because of that, I didn't have an energy, and I whiffed the Emerald Slash turn 2, and he end me, and I drew a decent hand, and I end myself again, and I whiffed the energy for the 3rd turn in a row. So I'm Emerald Slashing turn 4, and at the end of the game, he takes a huge lead at that point because he's just stacking a fat Evil Tall. I have 1 energy on the field. I haven't even Emerald Slashed yet. And late game, at the end of the game, I searched my deck and I found out my letters in my deck, so that was a pretty bad moment for me.
Guess tiredness got the best of you.
Yeah, I win my last round against my friend too, but I end up giving him the win for a chance for him to get his invite. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad I did that. So
That's nice. Alright. So, how many championship points are you at currently?
counting worlds points because I don't really know how many points we got off worlds.
Without war points. Yeah.
Okay, without worlds points, I think I'm at 330, so I'm doing okay.
Okay.
So
And are you going to regionals coming up?
I have Ontario coming up. So Ontario's coming up in May. I'm thinking of making the trip to Wisconsin regionals, but right now it's looking really grim as financially it's not looking too well, and it's about a 10 to 12 hour drive, so that's not really pleasant.
Yeah.
The only way we would really go, I think, right now is if we fly or if we all pitch in together for a van. But we'll see. We'll see when the time comes. We're not too sure on that yet, but Ontario for sure.
All right. So in Ontario, are you thinking about playing VG again, or is there another deck that's like piquing your interest?
To be honest, I'm really liking Flareon right now.
Oh no.
Lately. I'm actually really liking Flareon, yeah. I've been testing around with it, I've been theory modding it a lot, and it just seems really good. I'll definitely be testing Flareon. Evil Tall's my second favorite deck in the format, besides VG. Evil Tall's just a really good deck. I feel like it has a lot of 50-50 matchups. There's a lot of skill to it. Kind of. You could say kind of, because there's laser flips, which are kind of stupid, but
Yeah.
I feel like there's some skill to it, and especially in the mirror matchup and other matchups, and you have a chance against everything. But yeah, Evil Tall, Flareon, Virizion, Genesect, and I would probably say as my 4th most likely pick to play would probably be Kyogre. I really like Kyogre too.
Okay. So,
Yeah, those 4 decks, I'm highly considering those 4.
All right. And I guess a lot of people wondering. I know it's like a month and a half away, but do you think VG will still be good when Roaring Skies comes out?
I don't really think so. I think Rayquaza is too fast. Well, from what it looks like, Rayquaza will be decent.
Mhm.
I don't really know what other decks will be out there. I know Toad isn't going anywhere, so honestly, I don't really know. We'd have to
Yeah,
wait and see till the meta game establishes itself.
that's true. All right. Well, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
I do.
Okay.
I want to shout out my team, Team Lucario. My friend Matt Coo, he's in China. He's going to Worlds though, so he will be there. I want to shout out Rob Davies for being so good looking. I want to shout out Elon Simone for finally winning a tournament, a big tournament. And I want to shout out the ongoing struggle between Mark Levy and Hadar Martinovic to see who's better.
Okay.
And I definitely want to shout out. Oh, I definitely want to shout out Ariana Grande for being just really sexy. And
You
yeah,
might get beat up. You might get beat up by Big Sean now.
I'll watch out. We'll
Alrighty,
see.
man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and good luck at regionals.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, bye.